This is Larry Lawton, and he's an ex-jewel thief. Larry's a former career criminal, once considered the biggest jewel thief in the United States.
That blew a steel door flying open. Bam! The door, a ball of fire comes out of that cell, out of that shower cell, and we're like, what the f happened? And I'll tell you the same, the incident where you have shanks and you respect in the yard, and it was a great story. I was a guy, I'll never forget, a guy named Street owed me money. I vouched for someone. He wanted money, heroin. I vouched for him. So when I vouched for him, he didn't pay. And when he didn't pay, I got to do something about it, or they're coming for me. And they're going to see that I'm going to do something about it. First things first, we went to his people. And his different group, and their group said, man, he's on your own. Do what the fuck you want with him. Normally, if Larry Lawton owed somebody money in prison, another group, let's say I owed the Nortaniers money, and they would come to me and I don't have the money, I do whatever it is, before they fucking hit me, they're going to go to the white boys and they're going to say, hey, Lawton owes us fucking $200. What are you going to do about it? Now, usually I'm cool with everybody, not a rat. Everybody knows you're in the group. You might have a problem, who knows? They'll pay the debt. The group pays the debt, and they beat the fuck out of you. It would have been me, but I never had this incident happen to me, but I've seen it all the time. Guy would get beaten the fuck out of, and then they send him to the hole with a package to clear his debt up. So they're going to send that motherfucker to the hole with a beating with dope up his ass to make that money back. So that's how that works. So we go to the guy for Streeter who owes me money, and they didn't give a about Street. I said, do what you want. So I got to do something. So I lived on A1. A1 in Atlanta had the three tiers, A1, A2, A3. But A1 has like 2 levels. A2 has 2 levels. A3 has 3 levels. So here we are. I'm on the yard. I'm waiting. And here's the 3:30 count. Never forget, 3:30. So at 3:30, they have what they call recall. And everybody comes off the yard at 3:30. So here comes, and I know I got to get Street. I got my shank ready. My celly and I were waiting up on the second level of A1 and just looking, waiting, watching the people come in through the front door of A1. Now, you got to walk through A1 to get to the middle of the unit. There's cages, and then there's stairs going up to A2. So everybody who's going to A2 and A3 have to walk through A1. So they're walking through, and I'm watching, I'm waiting. I'm going to get Streeter. I got to get fucking Streeter. I got to save my face. You got to show that I can't be walked over. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I had to do what I did. So in comes Streeter. He goes up, and I see him. So I tell him, I'm gone. And I got my shank. I'm ready. Now the crowds are coming. I get up near him, and he sees me behind him. He knows something happened. He starts running. I start running through people up the tier. He's trying to get to his unit. It's A2. Boom. I'm hitting him. I got him in the side. I got him twice, 2-3 times, right in the side. I knew I got him, but he gets into his unit. And right when he gets in the unit, there's a guard standing right inside that door. There's no way I can get in there. So he gets in his unit, and I run out down. Nobody says nothing. People know what's going on, but they're not saying anything. I run down, back. I stash my shank. I'm in my cell. Adrenaline's all pumping. And Dave's, hey, you got him? Yeah, I got him. So all of a sudden, they start walking around. They lock the doors. Now, in Atlanta, it's not electric locks. It's what they call turnkeys, which is they walk by every cell and they turn them. So they lock us all in our cells. And normally, they have 4 o'clock count. After 4 o'clock count, about a 4:20, they clear count, they call it. By 4:30, they're letting you out of the unit, and then you're waiting for your unit to get called for chow. So here it is, 4:30. Nothing. Oh, shit. 4:45. Everybody's still locked in. What the f*** is going on? We know something happened. It's either escapes or something happened. So what am I going to do? I'm just, hopped up. All of a sudden, we see a whole bunch of guards and people come walking through A1 because you got to go through A1. They go up the stairs. We don't know what's going on. We're looking through our window. We're looking down. I'm on A1, but the second level A1, looking down. I was right above the guard station. They had a guard station down below. And I'm like, holy f***. And all of a sudden, it's after 5 o'clock now. And I see Streeter coming down with a whole bunch of people. They had a medical person there. And he's in handcuffs. And there's blood on his T-shirt where I got him. He walks by A1 and he looks right up into my cell. And he looked at me. And I give him a lot of credit for this. He didn't snitch because they never came and got me. So he didn't tell. We never saw him again. And he's gone. He gets transferred to another penitentiary. And I mean, it was so but everybody knew right from there, Lawton's not going to take that bullshit. Lawton will do what he has to do. Even though I had 12 years, I was in a prison with all these life sentence guys and a lot of psychopaths. And I only had 12 years. I say only. It's 12 years of my life. When you live let's say you live 80 years. Just think, that's 1/8 of your life, more than 1/8. 12 years I was in prison. So, it's fucking crazy, but you think, oh man, I did good. I only got 12 years. I mean, it's crazy, but in that prison it was like that. And I'm going to jump in a story I'm going to tell because it's funny because there was a kid across from us. We used to call him Brooklyn. He was from Brooklyn, New York. He was a black kid. Now, in Atlanta, back then, porno magazines were big. They're a big commodity in prison, pornography. You can rent a porno magazine for $1 for the night. So you give a guy 4 stamps, he gives you the book. Trust me, all big guys do is use the books to jack off. But it is prison. So we're sitting up on our cell, a bunch of guys right in front of my cell. And we're smoking cigars. Back then, we smoked cigars. This is 97, 98 now. And we're smoking cigars. And Brooklyn's walks up. That fucker, he stole my book. He won't give my fucking porno book back. Fuck him. That motherfucker. And we're laughing. This fucking little kid was a crazy little motherfucker. Now, his cell was across, same level as mine. He was on A1, but the cell is like a square. And he's across from me, where all the people come. He's across from me. I said, man, go kill the motherfucker. So we don't think anything of it. He walks down the stairs. We see this little crazy walking up the next tier again on the other side. And he's got a fucking goddamn shank in his hand. So he goes in the cell. And all of a sudden we hear a bunch of commotion. And 2 guys come flying. The door comes flying. The heavy steel doors comes flying open. They both come flying out. And his shank falls down. Bing, bing, right in front of the guard station. There's a guard station. And the guards panic and he's hitting his deuces. Deuces mean, everybody asks what's the deuces mean. In prison, if you hit any phone and you hit 222, they all come running. They have a lot of systems like that in prison, like in a counsel's office. If the counselor leaves the phone off the hook for 30 seconds, the guards come running. There's a lot of safes they have for security in prison. But any phone they hit 222, it's the deuces, and they all come running. Well, all the guards have a radio, and it's got a little orange button on it. And if they hit that, it's the deuces as well. So it's funny. They hit the deuces, and everybody comes running, and these guys were fighting on the cell, stabbing. There was blood dripping. It was crazy. They didn't die, but it was just crazy as guys. What psycho place I'm in? I mean, Atlanta was the biggest psycho prison in the world, and I was in the heat of it. It was just crazy. So I'm in the prison. I'm in there, 6, 7 months. I'm a convict. People know who I am. I party. I did acid. I used to do 4 hits of acid at a time. I was with a buddy of mine who got out, and he was an acid king for Grateful Dead. And they gave him a life sentence for acid. He ended up getting out. That's the great part. He just got out not long ago. Anyway, he used to get acid in, and I used to get 4 hits from him. I tripped on acid. People who don't know acid, I would put my headphones on and and listen to music, and it's so crisp. I would literally float out of the prison. It's crazy, but I would float out of the prison, and I would look down on a prison. It was the way you'd watch the walls breathe, and it's psycho. And I've seen people have bad trips in prison and kill themselves, jump off a tier. I've seen a guy stab himself and stab himself in the stomach. I don't know, crazy. So I've seen some crazy shit with people on drugs, but I never had a bad trip, and acid took me away from the place. But anyway, I'm on the thing, and there's this other guy. We know we got a hit. We're with a group, and this guy owes us money, and he won't pay. So we're in the gym. Now, in the gym in Atlanta, you go in there, and there's a big basketball court, and there's the bleachers on the one side, and other bleachers. There's a bathroom. There were actually two handball courts on the right here. But there's a bathroom. So here it is, 3:30, and they have what they call recall. So it's recall, and everybody starts heading towards the metal detectors, got to go through the metal detectors, back to your unit. Then at 4 o'clock, they lock all the doors, and they have 4 o'clock count. So anyway, this dude walks into the fucking bathroom, and I see a mop wringer, some other inmate left there, a mop bucket with a mop and a wringer, and it's sitting there right against the wall. And I told a buddy of mine, I said, go watch this. And he watched the door for me. So I go up against the wall. I leave my back against the wall. And I grab the mop wringer. I heard the toilet, the flusher, the urinal flush. And I seen the guy coming out, and I saw his shadow. When I saw his shadow, bam, I hit him like a baseball bat right in the face. Boom! He drops like a rock. Boom. I didn't know if I killed him or not. I just dropped the fucking mop wringer, and I fucking headed back into the crowd. Everybody's going towards the units, and I go in. Sure enough, here it is, 4 o'clock, 4:30. Nobody's letting out. All I know is nothing. If somebody dies in prison, we all know about it. Everybody knows about it, and he did not die. And it was crazy because he owed money. We never saw him again, but you had to do what you did. And I never heard from him again. Don't know what happened. People know I did it, obviously. Nobody ratted in prison like that. They just didn't do that, And so I'm going to tell you another story before I end this part of the chapter. We used to make wine. And like I said, certain groups had different hustles. Some had the drug hustle, the weed hustle. Some had the gambling hustles. Well, we had the wine hustle. And here's how you make wine in prison. You need to get sugar, fruit, and a little yeast. So what we did, 2 things in Atlanta. First of all, we used to put it in a bag, and Farley, the counselor, actually used to let us put it in the elevator till that got screwed up. Somehow that was found out, and we couldn't do that anymore. So here's what we did. We took nail clippers. They give you these little nail clippers. You can buy them on a commissary, for your nails. And we took those, and we literally, now in Atlanta, they had showers. The showers themselves were like a prison cell. There was a little box with the shower in it, and a steel door closes, a big heavy steel door closes with a little square in the window. So anyway, in that first shower, which is, you want to call it the white boy shower, we took the plate off. We had CMS, that's the prison maintenance. We know the guys, of course. And they took off the plate and they loosened it for us. So there's a plate where the stuff is like, the hot and cold and the thing coming out. And that's what's there. So he loosened the plate. We took it off. Now where that is, there's concrete wall behind it. But where the stuff comes out, the pipe come out, we chisel about a hole that big behind the plate. But now we make a bag. We get a big, heavy garbage bags. Those heavy garbage bags you'll see, very heavy. And we made a laundry bag inside that, like a netted laundry bag. And we put that heavy garbage bag in that laundry bag. That bag held about 30 gallons. So what we did was we stuffed that bag through that hole that's about this. The pipe is there, but it's all built up around it. We stuffed the bag in there, and we put the wine in there. Now you got the wine in there. You pull the bag up, you open it up, and you put the liquid in there. Then you put your yeast, a little bit of yeast, and you put your sugar. It's usually, I think it's for every gallon of water you got to have a cup of sugar. I think it's a cup of sugar. So yeah, a couple of little, those big jars we used to use anyway. So it was sugar, and then your fruit juice. We used to buy it off the commissary. You can buy orange fruit juice or whatever it is, or you get fruit out of the kitchen. You cut that up and you squeeze that, and you put some water in that. You put the sugar. It ferments, and believe me when I tell you, this shit will fuck you up. So anyway, we used to make 30 gallons of wine a week. Every week it would kick off. We would leave about maybe a half a gallon of sludge on the bottom, and that was already fermenting. So when we put new one in it, it went off every week. So it was like an operation. We had a big garbage can. We used to make we used to call them a neck of wine, and with bags. We'd make a bag, put a bag, and put like a quart of wine, tie it tight, put it in the garbage bag. Out of that 30 gallons, we would cook off 15 gallons. I'm gonna tell you how we did that. But we would sell the others. We'd sell 15 gallons. Now figure that out. At $5 a quart or $20 a gallon, because you're getting 4 quarts out of that gallon, you're selling a lot. It's like $300 just for that, what we're selling. And then what we're doing is we're making wine, we're making white lightning out of the other 15 gallons. We're literally making white lightning. I'm gonna tell you how you make white lightning. So you take white lightning. How you make white lightning is you gotta boil off the alcohol that's in there. So here's how you do it. There's a thing called a stinger. We used to take 2 drain covers, the round drain covers, they're steel. You would put them this close together and put 2 pieces of rubber, like a rubber gaskets or something, in between the 2 pieces of metal. You could either put wood there, 3 pieces of wood around, and you put them that close together. I mean, it's that close. And then you'd put rubber bands. So it's tight together like this, rubber band, and they're not touching, but they're right there. Then we broke a piece of wire. We would steal wire from a typewriter or a pencil sharpener at a counselor's office. It's a wire, a piece of wire, and we'd open it one piece and put 1 piece of wire to that one metal, 1 piece of metal to the other, extension cord it out into the TV room, because we'd have extension cords from when they did the buffing of the floors, and then you put that in that water or the liquor. So that would boil water in seconds. The key is, if you take that stinger out of that liquid while it's still plugged in, you will blow a fuse in the prison. Done, you're blowing the fuse. So we wouldn't do that. We'd make sure we didn't do that. So here's what we do. We'd end up now you take 15 gallons. We put it in a bucket, and you take that bucket and you put it in a trash bag, like a heavy trash bags. So now we had a light in there, actually, in the shower. So we rigged the light where we can get the power from that light with a cord down into the stinger that was in the liquid. So what we did was you put the bucket in there. The bag is around that, you put the bucket in the bag, and it's right here. And then you tie it tight like this together, and the wire is going into the stinger. The stinger is going into the liquor. The liquor boils. The alcohol comes up onto the bag and literally goes down the bag. And under that bag, under that bucket, is pure alcohol. How we showed people it was pure alcohol was we light it on fire. If it didn't light on fire, you couldn't sell it. So someone would put a little on a thing and just put a match to it, and it would light blue flame. Perfect alcohol. It was unbelievable. And boy, you'd get a soda out of the vending machine. Then we had sold like a Coca-Cola out of a vending machine. You'd put that in a Coke, and you are f***ed up. It's like the best thing in the world. Obviously, we used to sell a peanut butter jar. It was $40 for a peanut butter jar of that alcohol, the white lightning. So one day, this is an operation we had going all the time. We rotated who could do it, who would help with, getting it out of the wall, put it in a bucket, and we'd be in there. Everybody knew what we were doing. So one day, like I said, there's two sides of this unit. When A1 comes in, you come in through A1, and then there's the stairs going up, and there's a back of the unit. There's I think it was about 80 guys on each side, so we had about 160 on each floor. So where there's a bunch of cells back there with the 3 in the shower, that's where they were, and there was 3 showers up in the front too. But the guard that was in the unit, we used to wait out front during the move. Every time there's a move, a 10-minute move, the guard's out front of the unit. So one day we're cooking the wine in the back, and it must have been a short. All of a sudden, we're standing no one got killed. We're standing on the ledge, on the tier, on the second level tier, just hanging out, bullshit. We know it's cooking in there. The wine is cooking. We know it usually takes how long it takes. You don't sit in there while it's happening. You just get out, and you're just watching. All of a sudden, boom! I mean a fucking blast that blew a steel door flying open. Bam! The door, a ball of fire comes out of that cell, out of that shower cell, and we're like, what the fuck happened? Of course, there must have been a short, and the alcohol was in there, and that must have been a short or a spark or something out of that electrical thing, and it blew the fucking door. Blew it, bam. This door heavy still, like flying, bam, bam. I'll never forget the black dudes, they're friends of ours. They go, man, fuck you guys, we ain't going near you guys. You guys cooking that white lightning shit, man, we're not going to go near that. Because they were scared, because we used to get, they were right next to their TV room, and that door would have killed a motherfucker if it opened. Literally would have killed somebody. And the guard never knew about it. Nobody knew about it. I mean, everybody knew about it who was there, but nobody, like the institution or the guards didn't know it. I mean, it was just crazy how what we did with making wine and do how we did it. And yeah, it was just crazy. I'm going to come back next week, next few days, just a few days, and talk more about Chapter 10, about the violence and the crazy shit that goes on in Atlanta. That's just a taste of it right now. I hope you're liking it. I'm really enjoying the support I'm getting on this channel. Thank you all. I really, really appreciate that. My goal is going to be to do criminal justice reform, build this channel to a mega channel and get some weight behind it and really start to make change wherever you are. I don't know what country you're in. I hope you believe in criminal justice. I hope you believe in second chances, because that's me. I'm a second chance, and I don't want people to go to do what I did as much as it sounds, I hate to say sounds cool, it wasn't. Being in that place sucked. So don't think it for a minute. It did. You can listen to all of this again on Spotify and iTunes. We now, as you can see, we have shirts and mugs and some stuff. You can support us that way. I really appreciate it if you did that. I'm really liking the support, and I thank everybody, really, from the bottom of my heart. I like connecting, I like answering, I like reading all the comments. I'm doing this, and I hope people are enjoying it too. It seems like they are, because it's building pretty quick. Thanks again, everybody. See you in a few days.